Hari Om all. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So, Vibhuti of Lord is a 10th chapter. And it's about glory. What benefit would I get by seeing Lord's glory all around us? Anyone? What is the benefit? What is the significance of seeing the glory of Lord?
So may I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, I think that after getting the knowledge of Lord's glory, we can see Lord in each and every thing around us, and we can be humble,
Yes, very good.
humble
So,
towards everyone.
anything else?
We feel positive.
Very good. Very good. Any more things?
We learn to respect the things around us as they're also the vibhutis of the Lord.
Good. So, with that, let me tell you something. When we see healthy food, when we take healthy food, what benefit do we get?
Nutrients, you're more active.
So you become physically
Animals.
stronger, right?
So it protects you more from different immune diseases.
Yes, protection of also benefit of having good strength physically. Also, what a benefit if you exercise every day, daily?
It improves your muscles. You
Yes.
get used to running
It
and
gives you more flexibility.
Yes.
It gives you more strength.
Yes. Similarly, by seeing Lord's glory in each and everything around you, what the most important benefit is the stillness of mind. When your mind is still or balanced, you won't get affected by other unwanted things around you, especially for children. When the emotions are at ease, the mind is still, then you can more focus on your subjects. So the one most benefit of seeing Lord in everything around you is your mind becomes still and you become focused in the work at hand. Also, as you said, you will get more protection, you will be stronger, you will be humble. Very important. Humbleness is also very important because you see that everything is God's Lord's glory. Then if someone is coming first in the class or someone comes first in the race, or even if you come first in the race, you are still humble. We know 72 glories have been described in this chapter, and we have completed almost, if not less than 50 glories already. Today's class, we start with 34th verse by Swastik. Over to you, Swastik.
Thank you, sir. I'd request everyone to chant along with me. Mrityu sarvaharaschaham.
Mrityu sarvaharaschaham.
Udbhavascha bhavishyatam.
Udbhavascha bhavishyatam.
Kirti shrirvakcha narinam.
Kirti shrir
Narinam.
Smritirmedha dhritirshama.
Smritirmedha dhritirshama.
Thank you. Now, here and this time, instead of giving us four qualities that are not much abstract, we can see them clearly in our day-to-day life. Here, Krishna decides to give us three vibhutis which are very abstract. And so he continues. He explains that he is the death of all living beings and the end of all life forms on earth. Now, this not only shows the serenity and tranquility that the Lord brings with him, because if there would be nothing to move around, nothing to cause chaos, how would there be any sort of break in the peace? So, for this reason, it is also very serene and tranquil after all of us die. But it also shows the destruction and sorrow that arrives. Because if one of your loved ones die, or something that you love ends, you will of course feel huge amounts of sorrow for it. And all these emotions are brought by the Lord himself in his vibhuti. Now, the English proverb, no rose comes without a thorn, perfectly demonstrates this interpretation of the Lord's coming. Now, this one means that you cannot find complete happiness. Something will have good happiness and good sorrow as well. These two go hand in hand. So now after this, he also explains another thing, which is he is the origin for all things that have not taken birth yet or have not taken place yet. Whether it be a huge place of concentrated helium, a nebula, or it could even be your simple actions. All of this, he could also be the origin of the cells in your body, the energy made within your body. He is the origin of all of that. Now, this many people take with a grain of salt. They do not take this very seriously. But then they also do not realize that this means that he is you, because you are the origin of your future self. Now, this also shows that he is within you. He is not just a part of you, he is every single part of you. Now, the third one that he also states is that the fact that of all feminine qualities that are there, he is fame, prosperity, proper speech, intelligence, courage, and forgiveness. Now, you may ask, why would he manifest in these specific qualities? Because if you ever see a very successful person, like suppose you meet a highly rated billionaire or a smart person, he has invented something new. Now, you will notice that almost all of these many qualities that he has mentioned will always arrive within them. They will know how to collect fame, they will have lots of prosperity, they will have very proper speech, they will have very intelligent minds, they will know how to get all of this. So continuously going on in their mind. Then they will have the courage to work alone. They won't ever need someone to work alongside. And forgiveness, they will forgive anyone. Now, most of these times, these seemingly feminine qualities appear in almost every single successful man and woman. Even if specific qualities such as forgiveness rarely appear. Many people do not have forgiveness in this modern age. Why? Because our brains have been functioned to think that if you are not successful, then your life will go towards a downhill end. But if you are successful, you will go through an upward trend. Now, this is somewhat wrong. And I do not wish to explain why this is wrong, because I have only been assigned this verse. So I will end it here. Thank you, everyone. Special thanks to Sachit sir for giving me this specially abstract verse. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very well done. You chanted well and explained also well. It is an abstract verse because these qualities are different for different people. And as you very clearly mentioned, out of all the best qualities, forgiveness is very important. When one of the disciple was asking to Buddha, he came and asked, I have forgived someone for something. Buddha says, you go and forgive him again. You forgive him 7 times. The disciple doesn't understand what is this meaning of 7 times forgiving. He says, you forgive first time, but you may not really forgive him. It is just to please the teacher, you forgive someone. If you do it again and again, and definitely 7 times, you forgive him yourself. Otherwise, most of the time, as you said, even if you have the greatest qualities of proper speech, and how to advertise oneself and become very famous, but if you cannot work with fellow beings, then it's not the good virtue. And this is why Krishna is saying forgiveness is among all the other virtues that I am present in, or the feminine virtues present in human beings. So when you forgive someone, actually you are helping yourself, isn't it? If there is a quarrel, if there is a fight between 2 children or anything, if you forgive the other person, you start playing with him again. You start the work or whatever you started with him, you continue. And this is very commonly seen in children. They enjoy, they fight, but they forgive and they go ahead. So next verse, Tanush was not able to do, so I myself will be presenting it. Please chant after me. Bruhat samam tatha samnam
Brihat Sam Tatha Samnam
Gayatri Chandra Samaham
Gayatri Chandra Samaham
Masanam Margashirshoham
Masa
Masana Margashirshoham
Rutunam Kusumakaraha.
Rutunam Kumusakaraha.
This is one of the most wonderful verses because it explains few things which we always do, right? For example, the Gayatri Mantra. The Gayatri Mantra, we all know, Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha Tat Saviturrenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yono Prachodayat. But do you know, children, the Gayatri Mantra is entire condensation of Veda. All the Vedas together, the 3 Vedas together constitutes the Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha is just the pre-noun before the, or verb, pre-verb before the real thing. But the 3 lines, Tatsa Vitur Varenyam, it's from the Rig Veda. Entire Rig Veda condensed is Tatsa Vitur Varenyam. Entire Yajur Veda condensed, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. And entire Sama Veda condensed is Diyo Yono Prachodayat. You know how intelligently Lord made this, because he knew in the Kali Yuga, what we are in now, very difficult for people to get time for such classes or chant mantras. In the Satyuga or the other yugas, people had long time because they don't have internet, television, mobiles, nothing. And the lifespan also was 1,000 years. Rishis were living 10,000 years, out of which they will do 2,000 years of tapa. But that time they can chant entire Rig Veda, maybe lakhs of mantras, they will by heart. But I think Lord somewhere knew as the days become shorter, age become less, people have to get one condensed form. Do you know that in the space, what do they eat? Do they take a lot of lunchbox and eat there?
no, sir.
So, sir, they eat dried vegetables and all. They steam them.
They take capsule. One capsule is equal to 1 meal. Do you know that? So this is the capsule of all the Vedas, Gayatri Mantra. And that's why when someone chants this Gayatri Mantra, he's protected from all the evils. The first evil is ignorance. Our own ignorance that we are having God within us. So, I don't know, many people do this Gayatri Mantras when do Sandhya Vandanam. Any one of you doing Sandhya Vandanam? So, Sandhya Vandanam is started after Upanayanam. So, when you are at the age of 8, 9, 10 years, then Upanayanam is given, means have a thread ceremony. So once your father will chant Gayatri mantra in your ears, and then that is continued every day, minimum 3 times a day, when there is change in the sun's position. Okay, so Gayatri mantra is such a powerful mantra which condenses all the
Teacher,
Vedas. Yes, Tanush.
why only boys do the Supnaina?
Why only boys do the Upanayana?
Yeah.
Maybe the answer I don't know now, but I will tell you in the maybe next class.
Okay.
Okay. So this Gayatri mantra is so powerful. If someone chants this, what happens is the Medha Shakti, the Shakti in your brain to absorb the power from Lord Himself or Sun. This is Gayatri is for Sun God. So the Lord which we see regularly is Sun. So Sun gives the energy, and that energy is stored in your brain. It becomes stronger, powerful, and it stores a lot of memory. Just like in a computer, if there is a lot of memory, it can store a lot of things, it can do a lot of work. Similarly, in the brain, if there is power to absorb the knowledge, then it is better for us to study, and it is easy to study. So once you do this Gayatri mantra after Upanayanam, and you continue doing it every day 3 times, what is happening is your brain power is increasing. With that, you will get more and more, you can grasp things easily. That's why in previous times, people used to not just read, they will memorize it so easily. There were not many books to write. Today, paper and pen is available very easily, but that time, getting one book was very difficult. So children, remember, this is very important. So out of all the mantra, Gayatri mantra is what Lord Krishna is telling about. Then out of the 12 months, Margashirsha month, starting from December 15 to January 15. This is not the English calendar. It is our Hindu calendar. Generally, in this month, we see Sankranti, also called Sankramana, means all the 12 months equal to 1 day of Devaloka, means in the Swargaloka, it is 1 day of them. So we all know that when the day begins for us, the morning time, 3:30 to 4:30, is the most auspicious time to do anything. Yeah, Swastik, you have raised your hand.
Yes, sir. Sankranti is also considered the best day for like praying, because whatever you pray for on Sankranti, you will get that 100-fold.
Correct. Yes. So Sankranti or Pongal, which is celebrated in South India, all over India, they consider it is auspicious as, for one thing, is for prayers, and second, this is the day, the beginning of day in Swargaloka, the God's day, like Indra's kingdom. So when it is the beginning, the power which you generate by chanting or praying or studying, whatever it is, sadhanas, it will be many folds. That's why in Margashirsha, among all the 12 months, is what you should see as glory of Lord. And among the 6 Rutus, we know 4, that is summer, rainy, autumn, and winter. But there are 6 Rutus in our culture, and one of them, that is special Rutu, which is actually now going on, right? Vasanta Rutu. That means all things will be blooming, blossoming, fruits. Everything will be different varieties of colors. Lot of birds will be chirping around. Everyone will be fulfilled. This Rutu, Vasanta Rutu, is what Lord is telling. Out of all the 6 Rutus we have, I am the Vasanta Rutu. So you understood? This glories of Lord is all around you. We should see it. Imagine that we are seeing God and enjoying, experiencing. Whenever you see a small flower there, which is colorful, imagine this is Lord's creation. Try to think Lord is here and enjoy the presence of Lord. With that, I come to 36th verse. Pragnya, over to you.
Namaste everyone, and I'll be chanting the 36th verse. I request you all to chant after me. द्यूतं चलयतामस्मि
द्यूतं चलयतामस्मि
तं चलयतामस्मि
तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम्
तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम्
जयोऽस्मि व्यवसायोऽस्मि
जयोऽस्मि व्यवसायोऽस्मि
सत्त्वं सत्त्ववतामहम्
सत्
सत्त्वं सत्त्वमतामहम्.
Thank you, everybody. The meaning of the verse goes as follows. I am the gambling of the cheats and the splendor of the splendid. I am the victory of the victorious, the resolve of the resolute, and the virtue of the virtuous. So, in the 34th verse, Sir was saying about the virtue of forgiveness. So here Sri Krishna talks on a more vague basis of virtues. He is not referring to just one of the qualities. So let's start with the first part. The first part of the verse talks about Dyutam. So this is not the Dyutam that we think of gambling as. It is in this context, it is not a license or like a permission given to adharmic people or gamblers to carry out fraud businesses. It is only the affirmation or the confirmation given by Paramatma that he has existence in every one of the activities, may it be good or bad. So, for example, we'll take the example of a generator or a powerhouse. So, without that, we're not we won't get the energy to our house. We won't get the current. So then the lights won't run. So the powerhouse that supplies the energy is not responsible for the misuse of power or overuse of power. Like when we get a bill for overusing the power, using too many watts of electricity, that's not the powerhouse's fault, it's our fault. In the same way, Sri Krishna says that a gambler too possesses intellect and ability that is supplied by God. The gambler is not an animal, he also is a human who has high intellect. So he has a mind of his own, but still wants to choose the adharmic path of destroying his life by giving away all his possessions. So that's what Krishna says. But if he decides to misuse these God-given gifts, then God is not responsible for the sinful deeds he commits. Then most of us are the influence of Maya. So Maya steals our ability of discriminating right from wrong. And gambling is a very prominent example, a strong form of Maya. It can cause great attachment. We might have seen people getting very addicted to gambling. In our maybe even in our social circle, we might have seen people close to us getting addicted because you feel that, oh, what if I lost this time, it's fine. Next time I'll invest more money and get more money back. So it's a constant back and forth cycle. And ultimately, when you lose all your possessions, you have nothing left, you're in poverty, but all it does is result in great sorrow. So then we talk about the Kali Purushan. So that this is the, we call this the Kali Yuga, and we refer to Kali Purushan as the imaginary entity that represents all the adharmic qualities. So we'll take the well-known example of the Yudhishthira and Shakuni's dice match. So the Emperor Yudhishthira was highly intellectual, who had vivid knowledge of Dharma, was also not spared from this Maya, which came in the form of gambling. So despite him being such a knowledgeable person, being the head of the Pandavas, the eldest, he also was affected by the gambling. Because of this, he lost his kingdom, his riches, brothers, wife, and at the end, himself too. So next slide. So conversely, there are also examples of those who are highly intellectual ones who loses their power of who don't lose their power of discrimination. So the best example is Sri Rama himself. So despite the difficult circumstances he had to face, like when he was deprived of his kingdom and when Sita was abducted by Ravana, and even after when they came back from the from the forest after defeating Ravana, when Sita was accused of not being pure because of her stay with Ravana, and Rama had to send her away to the forest while she was pregnant. He never lost his dharmic ways. He always retained them no matter the circumstance. So he was never swayed by the Maya, and he didn't lose his intellectual ability, and he never gave up his dharmic ways to the circumstances. So Sri Krishna says that this is the Ishvara that is present, who is a shining brilliance of such influence. And lastly, most of us may not be endowed with such intellectual capabilities like Lord Rama, but we can still accomplish success if we are hardworking and we make use of the things around us and not get swayed by the circumstances. So people with limited funds too have shown through a lot of hard work by putting their blood, sweat, and tears, they can achieve wonders. We'll take the example of Sudhamurti and Narayan Murthy, who built one of the most biggest IT industries. Infosys, they just started with a small sum of 10,000 rupees that Sudhamurti had saved, and now they are such a big company. So through the sheer hard work, dedication, perseverance, etc., he made Narayan Murthy made Bengaluru the IT capital of our country. So next slide. So in conclusion, Satvikam, Rajasam, and Tamasam comprise the building blocks of Maya. So so all these qualities are present there. In individuals where Satvikam is dominating, the system works in perfect harmony without fluctuations or disturbances. So it keeps our mind still. In such individuals, Ishvara himself manifests as the dharmic gunas to demonstrate virtues such as calmness, sobriety, and goodness. I hope you can understand this verse. Thank you very much. Dhanyavad.
Yes, it was very clear. You brought in all the aspects of this verse. Especially this verse is talking about negative things, right? Negative meaning not so good things like gambling. But children, we are going to do the 11th chapter after this, and we would see this, that God is not just, He's a creator. So He doesn't create only day, He creates night also. So He creates not just good, He doesn't create mountains, He creates valleys also. So ups and downs, all are God's creation. Especially in the 11th chapter, we will see Vishwa Rupa Darshanam. Now we are seeing only Aneka Rupa Darshanam, means only good things we are seeing. But 11th chapter, when we will come to in the middle of the 11th chapter, you will see God in a furious form of God, like Narsimha Avtara. So gambling is like one of the not so good aspect, but what he's trying to say, be aware. She gave example of the powerhouse. If you use it for better, you can get light all around your farm or house. But if you use in a negative way, also it can be used. Just like the nuclear weapon, the nuclear energy. We all know if it is used in the proper way, it can give energy in the form of electricity or thermal energy. But if it is used like they used in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, you will destroy millions and millions, and the effect will go for long. But the energy as such is God's glory. This is what is the meaning of this verse. Let us now enter the 37th verse. Raghav, are you ready? Over to
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, sir. Namaskaram. So first I will chant and then please repeat. Vrishinam vasudevosme
Rishinam
Rishina Vasudevosmi.
One minute. Is it not Vrishninam?
No, sir, it's no. It's not no. It's no. Vrishni.
Okay.
Vrishninam vasudevosme
Vrishninam
Vasudevosmi.
Pandavanam dhananjayah
Pandavanam Dhananjayah.
Muninamapyaham vyasah
Muninamapyaham
Vyasah.
Kavinamushana kavih
Kavinam
Kavinamushana Kavihi.
So the meaning of this verse is, amongst the descendants of Vrishnis, I am Krishna. Amongst the Pandavas, I am Arjun. Know me to the Ved Vyasa amongst the sages, and Shukracharya amongst the great thinkers. So in this verse, Krishna says that he is present in the whole world, even in a tiny atom, to a stretch of a giant star. He says that he is excellent and perfect amongst each, whether a person or a clan. He is Krishna amongst the Vrishnis. Vrishnis were a clan descended from Vishnu, who were sons of Satvata. Satvata was a king, descendants of the son of Yayati. King Yadu, the descendant of Yayati, was the founder of Yaduvansh, also known as the people, the whole clan of Yaduvansh was also known as Vrishni. The kingdom of Yadu included present-day UP, some parts of Bihar, Jharkhand, and even MP. It was known as Yodhya. The Vrishnis included many mighty personalities such as Balrama, Sri Krishna Vasudeva, Anakadunubhi. Krishna, amongst all, is a supreme god, as we all know. The next slide. He also says that amongst the Pandavas, the sons of Pandu and Kunti, he is Arjun. Arjun was the most spiritually inclined towards Krishna, and that's why Krishna thought that Arjun would be the best to re-explain Bhagavad Gita to him after Lord Suryadeva. He also says that he is Vedavyasa amongst all the sages. He was the one to write all the 18 Puranas and Mahabharata as well. Vedavyasa's father did serious penance to Lord Shiva, and he granted a boon to Parashara that his son would be renounced for his knowledge and would be equal to Rishi Vashishta, one of the Saptarishis, who were the sons of Brahma. His mother was Satyavati, a princess, but Father Parashara was from a so-called low caste. But still, he is recognized as Lord's Vibhuti, as it doesn't matter that you are from which caste, your knowledge is your identity. He also says that he is Shukracharya amongst the great thinkers. So Shukracharya or Shukra is one of the sons of Bhrigu and Kavyamata, one of the Saptarishis. Shukracharya was a lot intelligent amongst all the thinkers. He was also a great devotee of Lord Shiva. He was the Acharya of all the Asuras. And also he is also recognized as the Adhishtata, as the king maybe of the planet Venus in the field of astrology. Dhanyawad sir for giving me this opportunity.
Excellent. Very good, Raghav. You explained the verse well and you brought in the importance of each individual here. We are seeing all the sages and rishis. And in fact, we are seeing Arjuna himself, isn't it? The dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, the Samvada Bhagavad Gita. So how important is Arjuna for us? Because do you think if Arjuna was not asking question, we would have got Bhagavad Gita? That itself makes out of all the Pandavas, Arjuna the best. Coming to the last verse today, Yakshita, you are there? Is Yakshita seen in the class? Okay, I will do the verse. Okay, please chant after me. Dando damayatam
Dando damayatamasmi.
Amasmi.
Nitirasmi jigishatam
Nitirasmi
Jigishtatam.
Maunam chaivasmi gruhyanam
Maunam chaivasmi guhyanam.
Jnanam jnanavatamaham.
Jnanavatamaham.
Excellent. I am just the punishment amongst means of preventing lawlessness and proper conduct amongst those who seek victory. Amongst secrets, I am silence, and in the wise, I am their wisdom. So it's very easy to understand that without punishing, like if you see the traffic police, the traffic signals, if we allow people to pass even when there is a when there is a red light, and don't punish them, the regular offending people will be more and more. So to prevent this lawlessness, we have punishments in the form of tickets, which will charge them some money. If they do 2 times, they will charge them the license. And if it is very serious offense, they will take to jail. And that's why these punishments are necessary. Even we say out of Sama, Dama, Danda, Bhed, Danda means where you give punishment is important for each one of us. When we are in the school, only some children will understand when punishment is given. Many will understand with simple things like Sama by telling them politely or by making them sternly telling them don't do this. But Danda only will teach some people. So many of the people are those who want to bend the rules. Danda, punishment is what will give them correct lessons. So here the punishment is not like someone should do something harm, but like what Krishna helped Pandavas to win over the battlefield. Means adharma was prevailing because of Duryodhana. So Duryodhana and the Kaurava clan was punished. That punishment is Krishna here. And among the secrets, I am the silence. You know, Buddha never preached anything verbally. Whatever writings of Buddha is silent. He was silent. Even if you know Dakshinamurti, if you see that
Yes, sir.
my first line,
Dakshinamurti Shiva. He would
Shiva,
never speak.
because you know what is the story? All the munis were his students. Imagine rishis are his student, already so much learned. Whenever we start a dialogue, what happens is one answer is given, the next question comes in. So with God also same thing happened. The munis were so learned. When he's trying to teach something, their intellect will find a question to ask him. Again, he has to answer that. After answering first question, second will come. Like that, 1,000 questions started. So finally, what Lord Shiva did? Maunam Vyakhyanam means without speaking, he was speaking. So the brain waves of his connected to the brain waves of the like computer Wi-Fi connection. Nothing is seen, but connection is there, and everything was transferred. So it is a transfer without any mistakes. So whenever speech comes in, even this internet is good. That's why you can hear me well. But in case the bandwidth is less, my voice going to you, reaching you takes time. Interpretation is wrong, less correct. Then what will happen? The complete understanding will change. So silence is the secret among all secrets. And what is the secret here? The secret is that God is not outside, He is within you inside. Only during silence you can understand that. Because whenever you are seeing outside, your 5 senses are very active. And when 5 senses are very active, they are taking yourself away from God. So secrets among secrets is silence. Only with silence you can understand God very well. And obviously, the wise is the among all the wise people. What is he? Wisdom. Like among all the luminaries, what is the best luminary? Sun.
So
Isn't
he is
it?
the reason for their title of wise.
Yes. Only when they have wisdom, the title will be wise, right? So wisdom, the powerhouse inside is God. That's why they seem to be wise. So with that, we end the class. But before ending, I want volunteers for the last few verses of this chapter in the next class. Who can volunteer? Okay, Pragnya, Aloki, Raghav, Sharo. Very good. 4 of you. 4 of you is enough because 4 verses only remaining. I just take a screenshot. Otherwise, I'll forget. Okay, children, with that, we end the class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.